Hey guys, I recently took second in a custom competition and a first, so I'm putting the two clips together. One's here, starting here at Ghent for eel. Just kind of proven before I'd put this up on my channel a ways back, knowing that you can spot for eel here at Ghent in the event that you're wanting to play in Linked Matters. This happens just to be a sponsored competition. Me and my buddy Keith both took first and second in this, but just kind of illustrating. This is my Wells mix or my Catfish mix. You know, obviously an eel is attracted to the similar baits, you know, as far as cut baits, that sort of thing, chicken liver. So that is just wanting to show you too is you don't have to cast out a mile for these things. Anybody that's wanting to do that now, that is, you know, assuming that you have spotting available for you. Now, if you're a lower level guy, you're going to have to cast way out there to get these things. So again, just wanted to keep a note there is you have to be able to spot to get them in close. But for anybody that's looking to play in sponsored competitions, that sort of thing, as well as the Linked Matters. Now again, this is with a rod stand, but I just wanted to show you more times than not what will happen is you'll get a trophy or two first normally, and I just showed that mix there, but it's the same mix that I was using on Wells and the qualifier 2 and the Catfish. But you'll see sometimes that was an oversized trophy for the most part, or a very large trophy, another just a common size trophy right behind it. And again, I normally like to throw out about half of the mix, get my rods out, and just kind of making sure my mix is going to work and the spot's going to be active. That way I don't waste all my time just throwing all the mix out. Now everybody kind of does that differently. Entirely up to you what you want to do. You could throw out your entire mix. Not saying that that won't work out for you. Just sometimes I've found, you know, nothing more discouraging when you throw out an entire mix and nothing happens for you. So I do like to splash the water afterwards, as you can see here. I didn't get the entire mix out. I put my rods down, and then I kept spotting over the top of that. Just kind of a keynote there. And again, up to you on your hook sizes, that sort of thing. You know, you could probably go as high as 3/0 if you really wanted to. 1/0s, 2/0s is usually the most common thing used for these eel. And again, that's just kind of illustrating here. That was around, I want to say, 89 feet out. You could probably even go a little closer, maybe as close as 75. But just to be safe, you know, it doesn't take too awful long to spot. And I had tested this before I put this up on a clip as far as Linked Matters tips. But I definitely would encourage you guys, if you've ever played in the Linked Matters, that sort of thing, or you're just generally going for eel, maybe you're doing your recatch, that sort of thing, and you're struggling just to try to get it naturally. In the event you're working on your checklist, it's a good way. As you can see, that there's a nice sized unique eel. Now, this just for this competition's purposes, that was just a small mix. Again, just going for a gap competition here, so I'm looking for another small just to kind of get my gap. So I do have a little smalls mix there if you needed that, but you know, sometimes you won't, but I'm just looking for a quick bite, and sure enough, I just threw a little bit of that out. Got my roach. I didn't even have a mark, didn't really need it. Again, just illustrating your mix should be creating a spawn of whatever you're going for, as long as you got an appropriate mix for the species that you're actually going for. That is also a key tip there. Again, now I'm going for my second eel, as my buddy Keith there has passed me by a millimeter, but nonetheless, I want to just illustrate again, just rotating to another spot, throwing out half of my mix, putting my rod out, and then just spotting over the top of it. Just wanted to show you guys that, again, two different spots. Now, again, if you're looking for third in the Linked Matters, then, you know, our buddy Big Legit a long time ago had said something about the tile spacing. So maybe just move over 5 or 6 tiles from this spawn point in the event that you're playing in the Linked Matters. If you're following along first spawn point, get one, come down here, whatever you can get. And then just go 6 tiles up on your mini map. The spot don't even really matter. That was actually a flounder mark out there. That's not even an eel mark. That was a flounder mark from something else. So again, it's your mix, guys, that's going to be drawing these things into you. I just wanted you to kind of evolve, especially once you're starting to spot. You don't have to, you know, cast your mix out there a mile. And obviously, there's no boat here to save yourself time of, you know, like at St. Bagassi if you're trying to go for wells, that sort of thing. But again, it's just a different way of doing things now. I think for sure the spotting is amazing on this game, and I hope that you guys are taking advantage of that. If it's not something that you've learned, you can take a look on my playlist, on my cart playlist. I do have spotting tips 1, 2, and 3 if you don't know how to mix stuff up. But from there, you know, kind of experiment. You know, there's a lot of different. A lot of it is self-explanatory, but there is some certain mixes and certain chemistries that do work well together. There's my, you know, my Wells Day mix again that I'm going through over here. Now we're going on to Tiber River. That's a basically oil pea cake as far as the particles, if you're curious. Oil and hemp, full bag as well on top of that. Now I'm going 6-0s here. The competition, the second competition I'm showing you, actually take first place in. Again, just spotting a spot that's commonly used either for barbel or carp or that sort of thing. But again, I don't really think the spot matters when you're doing something like this. And I'll illustrate this. Just throwing out half of my mix, thinking, the trophy's here. This is not even something that I'd really spotted for. I just know that I missed before playing barbel, using blood. I knew that there was wells over here. And again, I just thought, I don't know why it would even matter. Again, your mix should just draw them in. Sure enough, I threw out half the mix. It's kind of the way I do it. You don't have to do it this way. You can throw out your entire mix if you want. Everybody does things differently. To be honest, you could throw out half, 3/4. I just like to get my rods out there and make sure that I am creating an active spot. And that's kind of why I like to throw out half of my mix first, then throw my rods out, and then I'll spot on top of this. As you can see, I'm already getting activity, which is I'm kind of wanting to just see here and test and make sure. So I'm going to keep spotting on top of it, knowing that it's going to cycle in a oversized trophy at some point, just because it's going to be active. So again, just illustrating here that making sure that I'm getting a wells, even though I don't have all my mix out yet. That's basically what I was doing here, is just making sure that I'm not going to miss, and my mix is just going to waste time again following along. I don't want to waste approximately 5 to 7 minutes not catching anything. I knew instantly here. Duck muscle, it was either a carp or a nice wells. Granted, this was heavier on Catfish Destroyer than it was on Carp Rival or that sort of thing, so I knew the odds are this should be a nice wells. Sure enough, a 32 pounder here. That's great and good size. Again, I'm just trying to save a little time. Just go straight down here to bloodworms and pinkies. Sure enough, I get the probably one of the smallest fish in the lake, being the bitterling, so this is definitely a nice reward here. So that did pay off. Now again, my buddy Keith got a 34 pounder. Moving on to the second spot. Me and Keith are battling again here in the sponsored competition. Spotting over here off of the boat dock. I think you've seen this spot before. Me spotting this for either barbel, carp, and the one of the carp qualifiers. Again, it doesn't really matter, I don't think, where you spot. It's again your mix bringing in, whether it's going for oversized asp. I can get oversized asp in this area as well. It just depends on the mix that you're using. Obviously, that's going to draw on the particular species. I'm just spotting this spot, half of the mix as well. I'm sticking with the 6-0s. At this point, I'm thinking, if I don't get one bigger, if it's in the 20s, I'm going to upgrade my hooks either to a 7-0 or 8-0 in the next spot, given that I am in second place, trying to go for first place. Now, again, I did get this one fairly quick, knowing that it's not going to be a carp. It can't be anything but a wells, just because it's a frog. Nothing else really in this lake should bite a frog, I don't think. It's definitely not a carp. That is undersized or just a normal size. So over here, I go over to the bridge, and I'm actually just spotting a spot that's a short mark for a asp as well. Just kind of illustrating this again. Whatever mix you're throwing out, it definitely should just draw in the fish. I don't think, again, your marks, I'm not saying they're not relevant, but what's more relevant is that you got a mix that's proven that will work, as your hook sizes. I do go up to a 7-0. I almost probably could have went up to an 8-0 at this point, but I didn't want to get too aggressive and have a potential swim off in this situation. So again, I've thrown out, that time I threw out about 3/4 of the mix. Also upsized my hook just to make sure that hopefully it'll be just a little bigger. We know how hook sizes go in this game. Sometimes they can get small fish, and sometimes they'll get big fish. So who really knows? But I did just, wanted to make sure that I did upgrade my hook size. And sure enough, here at the end, we pull in a nice wells, and right off the bat here, right underneath the bridge with plenty of time remaining. This is a great way to, again, get your recatch done, that sort of thing. Or if you're just looking to improve in spotting and some of these custom comps, I do truly hope this helps you guys out in your endeavors here on Fishing Planet. And take care. We will see you guys again in the next one. And there's another sponsored competition win and more Baitcoin. So take care, guys, and we'll see you guys in the future.